Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great week. Chopped up as it was. So many people took the long weekend and Monday off, as well as the Tuesday holiday. If you saw my Monday market update, it was a slow start to the week, but we got that update done. Today is July 7th, 2023, and this is your Friday planning video. I want to talk to you a little bit about student loan debt, but there's also some more to say at the end, so stay tuned. As I promised you last Friday, we'd have some news on the Supreme Court and the decision on the student loan debt forgiveness. Not a few hours after the video went out, the decision was in, and as expected, and as I explained, the Supreme Court threw it out. In such, they have not only maintained the course of the 40 million or so Americans to restart paying the loans that have been left alone for the past 3 years, but they've also removed this forgiveness thing for the current news. I did mention that many people do think that this will have some headwind on the economy, as this money has to come from somewhere, and the spending of on other goods and services is where it will probably come from. Slowing economic growth, but we'll see by how much. The resilience of the spending has actually been astonishing, so we'll talk about that on the Monday videos. I'm going to touch on a few action items today, and if this holds like I think it will, I'll get a short update just on this topic sometime soon. 2 main points to know, and then some possible action items for you. First, as promised, Biden did not back down. He pivoted. Not the Fed this time, but the president. He moved to Plan B. What is Plan B, you ask? In truth, it's still being written. But for now, the IDR, or Income-Driven Repayment Plan, with its own cool name, or the SAVE plan, the Saving on a Valuable Education Plan, that's the plan that will be better than the old IDR plan, and it was called the REPAY plan. That is Revised Pay as You Earn plan. But the new one does not even fully go into effect until next year. Simply put, can you really say that about any government plan? Simple, but simply put, this plan will take into account the income that you have and make possible adjustments to your payments based on that income. There is overall savings to be had possibly, but we have to wait and see how that works out. Second, there is still hope at the White House that they will get some forgiveness back. Biden is exploring using the Higher Education Act of 1965, which allows the Department of Education to compromise on, waive, or reverse some government-backed student loans and grants. Not sure how this is going to work out also, but be aware they're dusting that one off also. So that's the quick news. Now a few action items that you can take with the current environment, assuming that there will not be loan forgiveness. 5 quick notes, then we'll hit on a few other items before the weekend. First, make sure you update all the contact information you have. This seems obvious. We've talked about it a lot, but go to your current loans or studentaid.gov and make sure that they can find you. Second, reach out and touch your loan servicer. This is important since not only have you may have moved in the last 3 years, but maybe they did too. Like mortgages, some student loans may be serviced by a different company. Check and see, probably online's the best. Next, apply for this new SAVE plan, as I mentioned, income driven, so you may save some money. Next, this is the budgeting comment. Figure out your monthly payment and set it up on an automatic debit. This is the best way to get it on automatic pilot. I will remind you, if you set it on auto, set up a way to keep it on your radar. You don't want to lose track of that bill. 10 years later, it's still debiting, you just didn't remember it. Finally, in keeping what we've spoken about for weeks now, high yield savings account, cash management. October is when these bills start coming due again, so stash some cash now. Just make something on that cash. Okay, there's much more to tell and even still more coming, but let's move on to a few other things. I mentioned last week about knowing your number. You know, that amount of money you'll need for your retirement. Well, there are more articles than you can count and more surveys with different numbers, and that is my point. Please don't take those numbers as your number. This is what I will always tell you about things like large surveys and things, and even radio investment advice. They don't know you. And as our meetings show, when I ask you how much will it cost for you in retirement, and you don't even know how much that is. How's a random survey going to know that? I'm not suggesting this is a futile act. What I'm saying is that we should talk about this over and over and over again. What do I have? What is projected to be, and how much income can I get from that? That is the what's my number plan, and that has a good chance of working. Okay, finally, let's talk summer vacation. We're in the depths of it, and one thing most of you are not doing is thinking about school. Please, I'm not here to cause angst, but this is a great time to talk about college savings planning and overall education cost planning. In keeping with the report from a moment ago about loan debt, there are ways to plan. You may or may not be able to get through debt-free, or your kids get through debt-free, but we should discuss the way to save for those costs. Even if the plans include loans, our planning will talk about paying them back and how to do that. For now, I hope you have a great weekend. I'll be back next week from a special location on Monday. Have a great weekend.